just own an asset in your retirement that's paying you money. Who cares what it costs you between now and then? Like at some point, you're going to have an asset that's paid off, that's going to be generating. Like you can bother yourself with all this nitty gritty little stuff to worry about every single day. For instance, the stock market. You've got these. You're the first guy you spoke about is the guy that just buys in. I'm going to get some S&P. I'm going to buy some whatever. I'm going to buy every month. I'm going to buy a little bit of stock, right? That's the first guy. And I'm just going to buy it. I'm just going to buy it. Just going to buy it and hold it and buy it
and hold it. Yeah.
Then you talk about the next guy who's like the hedge fund manager. And they're making bank because they know what they're doing. They're only doing the good deals. They're moving what needs to be moved. And fees. They're balancing their portfolios. They're doing all that stuff. And the last guy you talked about is the guy who's like, oh, I'm a day trader.
Right. This is the economy, though.
That guy might as well be, most day traders I've met are doing that because they can work no other job, right? And they lose their shirt and they don't tell anybody that they're losing their shirt every day. They're trying to guess which day Google's going to be high or, try and pick the next NVIDIA or whatever they're good. But they're not. They're buying and selling every day, and that's not good either.
They all lose eventually.
The best strategy is the guy that's just like, yeah, I'm just going to buy another one. Hold it for 20 years. And that's it. And people hate to hear how simple it is.
Index funds. Yeah.
One of we had on Chris Slidham from Royal LePage Signature, and his whole thing on the Tom Story Show when he was on was like, just own an asset in your retirement that's paying you money. Who cares what it costs you between now and then? Right? Like at some point, you're going to have an asset that's paid off that's going to be generating. Like you can bother yourself with all this nitty gritty little stuff to worry about every single day.
Yeah, but okay, so hold on a sec. A big distinction is those guys, the first group of guys, they bought it with cash, okay? So they could rent it for whatever the fuck, it didn't matter. They paid it for cash. The other group, it's like who you were talking about, where it's like, okay, it breaks even every month. We're cool just hanging on to this thing. And that's a good investment. Maybe it gets better over time. Maybe they make a couple $100 on the thing every month at the beginning. But it's not the same as a guy that just goes, fuck, I make so much money because I work so hard every goddamn day. I don't know what to do with this shit. I'll buy a house.
You can't be the guy that buys it in all cash, though, if you're never the guy that strung it together by cash flow in neutral at the beginning, right? You have to build something up.
No,
you
back in the day,
you don't just magically
Europeans,
come across. Nah, come on.
Yeah, they saved up 20 grand. They bought a house. They saved up 40 grand. They bought a house. There's all these guys, or they like TK's saying they buy a house to live in it and rent out like the 3 other apartments, and then from there they do something like that. But these guys are buying it with cash because these are guys that don't want debt. They like work a business that just produces money.
I never met those guys. I'm sure they're out there, but I never met those guys. But I do meet a lot of guys who have a huge
never sell
distaste. They don't sell. A huge distaste for debt. And so they're like, I bought the house, and then within 4 years, I paid off the mortgage. Within 6 years, I paid off the mortgage. Like, they're just like, they can't handle debt. It like puts stress on them so much. So they just go to work and they just chomp down on that mortgage, like hard. And so that's what they do. But they use their job income, their T4 income to pay it down.
Yeah. And then there's the other side of it. Then this is why I hate this. I hate it when people say, well, real estate makes no sense because it's not tied to income. It's detached from median income, average income, household income, whatever you want it to be.
Increase in...
You mean the prices right now don't make sense because of the...
They're not 4 times median income or whatever.
Yeah.
There is zero reason why real estate prices need to be tied to average income.
That's right.
There is no reason for it.
Yeah.
Because, for instance, let me give you an example here. I'm full of bad analogies today.
Okay.
Welcome.
I'm in the right place. What does a brand new GT3 Porsche 911, is that the right thing? What does that cost these days? $380,000?
TK just bought one. Ask him. TK just got one last week.
I got a good deal on it. Yeah.
So
265.
People say, well, that's what it's worth. Well, to me, it's not worth that at all. But to the guy willing to pay it, it's worth that. Real estate is the exact same thing. We don't realize how many people have stupid amounts of money that are willing to pay. And there are, right? I was talking to a neighbor of mine, and he's in financial investigations for a policing service, and they were talking to a retailer. The retailer is a very high-end retailer, and they actually are so high-end that they throw private parties. So think about this. You have a store, and you throw private parties, and you give away your friends' shopping sprees in very expensive stores. The party that they were doing that week was for a dog's 1-year-old birthday party, and it was $500,000 party.
$500,000 for a fucking dog?
He made it to one.
So 1-year-old dog, what an accomplishment. So anyway,
it's a bark mitzvah.
A bark
13-year-old
mitzvah?
dog, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But so now that's obviously an exaggeration on the high end, crazy end of the spectrum. But if you think you're having a 1-year-old $500,000 dog bark mitzvah, I'm assuming a $4 million property in Vancouver is not that big of a stretch for these people.
Right.
Right.
Sure.
So there are people out there that have money, and there's zero reason why. For me, that Porsche, I will never spend more than $30,000 or $40,000 on a vehicle. I never have in my life. Never will. Maybe I'll have to with inflation. Who knows? But at some point in time, somebody
those Porsche drivers, right, TK? Those Porsche drivers.
You can also rent it.
Did you buy?
They're the
a Porsche?
worst.
No,
No.
but you can rent it though.
That. Why would I buy a Porsche?
If TK is more of like a Dodge.
I'm looking
Caravan
at
type guy.
there's a Porsche outside my window right there.
You could rent one and drive it and then go, okay, I got my like experience with that, you know? Yeah.
It's not that model you were talking though. That's for damn sure.
But to somebody that's worth it. And to that person that's worth it, they have the money.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the same thing. So we need to stop thinking that real estate is tied to incomes at all, because there's no reason for it.
Well, the reason is for the people that want to live in the places they can't afford. They need something to say, right?
Yeah, they're angry that they can't afford it.
Right. I mean, look around. How many cities are there on the planet where income and cost of housing are nowhere near each other, right? Like Toronto, Vancouver, these are just new on the list, right? Worldwide, right? So, but if you want affordable, like there's so many places to go, even in the same province, right?
Are you looking for the best merch store on the planet? Well, we got the shit for you. Coming in at low prices where we barely make any money off of whatsoever, you can get the greatest real estate merchandise on this platform. Just look at this very flamboyant man putting on this great stuff. He looks great, he's dancing great, and boy does he look sexy in that merchandise. I tell you, buy this for anybody, you buy this for yourself. You will be not only repping the greatest Canadian real estate podcast in this world, but you will also be looking hella good doing it.